Now let's see how container across multiple pods and multiple nodes communicate to each other. So these are our two nodes. On the left hand side we have 192.168.10.228, and on the right hand side we have 192.168.10.226. Both of them have their own Ethernet card, and the communication happens via the Ethernet card using the network infrastructure on the data center where these nodes are present. Or if you're using cloud service provider like AWS or GCP, it will use VPC, which is their network offering, to do the communication between the machines. In case of AWS, that will be EC2 instances, and in case of Google Cloud, it will be Compute Engine instances. For simplicity's sake, I'm showing you only two pods. Pod 1, or the blue pod, is in node 1 with an IP address 10.168.1.0, and pod 2, or the green pod, is on node 2 with IP address 10.168.1.20, and both of them are hosting one container each. If we had multiple containers, you already know how the containers can talk to each other within a pod using something called localhost via the virtual Ethernet of the pod. Now, if there are multiple pods in the same node, they'll use something called Kube Bridge to do the communication. So these are the Kube bridges on the respected hosts, and these are installed when the Kubernetes cluster is created. I'm using different color code just to show you that these are on two different nodes, but essentially the process or the program is same. It is Kube Bridge. If you have multiple pods on the same node, the pods will use Kube Bridge program to communicate to each other. Now, what if container in pod 1 wants to talk to container in pod 2? How the network flow would happen? So from container it will go to veth0 of pod 1, and from there it will go to Kube Bridge. From Kube Bridge it will go to the Ethernet card of this particular node, and then Ethernet card will use the network infrastructure on the data center or of the cloud service provider and send the data to Ethernet card or network interface card of host 2. From there it will go to Kube Bridge of node 2, and then Kube Bridge will send it to the virtual Ethernet of pod 2, and from there it will go to container in pod 2. Pretty intuitive, but the problem here, if you have noticed, is that it crossed the network boundary of the host, the entire traffic, because it had to use the Ethernet card, went out, used the network infrastructure, came back. So traffic from here to here and here to here will have to cross the node or host network boundary. That means it will be NATed. So container in pod 2 will think that the traffic or the data has come from 192.168.10.228 rather than 10.168.1.0. Same is the case with container in pod 1 or the application in pod 1. It will think that the message or data has come from 192.168.10.226. That is okay, but the problem here is that if you have multiple pods, which actually will have for sure, you'll have to do a lot of port mapping between the node and the containers in the pod. So if you have, let's say, multiple pods and multiple containers inside of those pods, you have to be painstakingly make sure that the port in the container is mapped to the port in the host. Things become more complicated if containers in multiple pods are using same port number and your application is communicating using the same port number. So that is a difficult task. To avoid this, Kubernetes uses something else that is called a tunnel. Now, this tunnel is an abstraction over the Ethernet cards of both the nodes. So there will be a tunnel driver with the name TUN0, which will be created on top of ETH0. The tunnel would also use the network infrastructure of the data center or of the cloud service providers. But the only difference would be that there will not be any NATing. So let's see how the flow would happen. From container in pod 1, it will come to the virtual Ethernet card of pod 1. From there, it will go to Kube Bridge. But instead of going to ETH0, it will go to TUN0 of node 1. And then the packet will travel the tunnel, come out here, and then it will land on Kube Bridge. And from Kube Bridge, it is simple. It will go to the virtual Ethernet card of pod 2 and then to container of pod 2. Now, to go from here to here, as I said, it has to use the network infrastructure. And this is something called an overlay network. And the way it is implemented, as I said, it has to use ETH0, the network interface cards, but without any NATing. And the advantage here is that you do not have to take care of container port and host port mapping, or pod port and host port mapping. And the container in pod 1 will recognize container in pod 2, because whenever pod 1 receives traffic, it will see that the traffic has come from 10.168.120 rather than 192.168.10.226. Same is the case here also. Whenever this container sends traffic to this container, it would know that it has come from 10.168.10 rather than 192.168.10.228. So it removes NATing. By removing NATing, it reduces a lot of complexity. Again, the complexity is taken completely by the network plugin or the network infrastructure. For application developers and to create multiple or to deploy multiple pods, things become easy. Let us go ahead and see a demo, small demo of these things.